We do see that historically there have been a number of different programs that have been quite successful. Certainly California is probably the best, largest scale kind of experience we've had in the U.S. Certainly areas like Japan's Top Runner program and others have been extremely successful elsewhere. But specifically, there are tools that we can draw on that are proven, like Energy Star and like some of the mandatory building code work that's been done. There are piloted options that are emerging at the scale of cities that have been pushed forward, things like LEED certified buildings and energy management systems that have been adopted by different states. And there's some innovative kind of emerging options that have recently caught flame, and things like Long Island Green Homes, as well as performance contracting and loan guarantees to enable the ESCO market, are emerging as large-scale contributors. When we look at kind of the summary of this work, there are really 5 big observations that we need to recognize around energy efficiency. The first is that energy efficiency in and of itself it's an important and a compelling option, but it is not the lone option. And when we think about the U.S. and our ability to meet the challenge that's been laid out by the IPCC, the nation does need to concurrently develop new, clean, and low-carbon sources of energy. And our cost curve work has demonstrated that very clearly, that in order to meet anything like the targets that are being proposed in Waxman Markey, we do need to harness both energy efficiency as well as clean technology. Secondly, there is the need to develop and further enhance our portfolio of options that exist there in terms of the proven, piloted, and emerging. And there are tremendous opportunities to scale up. Third, there is a need to identify the means of funding this up front as being one of the major barriers. And when we think about the potential that exists, the economics are compelling, but the scale that we've administered to date here in the U.S. is roughly a quarter to 20% of what it really needs to be in the long term in order to capture the full potential that we've identified over the next decade. So we see the need for a 4- to 5-fold increase in our spending on energy efficiency, and a need to figure out what the right way is to allocate costs out to individual consumers in the end in order to achieve that, whether it be on the one hand in terms of mandatory standards, whether it be on the other hand in terms of potential public service charges or other things that you can do to distribute costs. Fourth, there is the need, and I won't go into this in detail because Jon, I think mentioned it in quite an eloquent way, but really to forge greater alignment among the stakeholders, being the utilities, the commissions, the ratepayers, and ultimately the technology companies that all come together around this issue. And then finally, not a major focus of our report, but the opportunity exists for us to further foster the creativity and innovation required to advance energy efficiency even beyond where it is today. This is an area that we haven't tapped fully, where we can see that concerted effort could yield tremendous gains. So that's the quick summary of the report. I apologize for the pace at which I ran through, but we'll welcome your questions in a little while. I'll just leave the central conclusion up here for you to read again. So thanks very much,
John.